everybody, Bart here, and I just wanted to make a quick and simple video about some of the best ways that I like to use bands to exercise. Now, not all bands are created equal. Some of them have fastenets for the doors, and so that you can close the door around a fastenet and you don't need to use an anchoring tool like I have here on my deck. Now, always warm up your body, even if it's with resistance bands. Now, resistance bands don't act the same way as stoplights, so green doesn't always mean go, red doesn't always mean stop, and yellow doesn't always mean medium. You have to suss them out on your own to figure out what the intensity is. Now, typically if you make a purchase through a vendor, they'll have some sort of label or legend, something to help you understand what the intensity is. But in my experience, every band manufacturer is a little bit different, so you'll figure out right away what is hard. Typically green is very easy, and it's the opposite. Now, I'm only going to go over the most simple exercises of what I can handle here in my own space. Now, I don't have a fastenet system. I'm likely to invest in one because I see the value in it. The first exercise, and these heights aren't perfect, you can do a much better job working up and down the different degrees of your door. First exercise would be a row. Now, for me to get the best row possible, I have to do a partial squat. I don't want to give all the weight to my heels. I want to remember that this is not going to necessarily protect me. There are times when bands have snapped. This is a particularly good one, and I wouldn't recommend taking it out in the sun often. Now, I typically do this in the shade. This is a quick way for you to wear out your band if it's in direct sunlight, and I'm just doing it for the sake of this video. All right, so after I get into my partial squat, there's 3 ways that I can do my row, well really 4. If I was to start with 1, it would be 1 at a time, 1 at a time, me pinching my shoulder blades together. So in this one, my fists face each other. I can do an underhand, I can do an overhand, and I can accomplish each of these different directional pulls 1 at a time or 2 at a time. Next exercise, which I'm going to have to step into a lunge to get a better angle for my press. We just did a pull. This will be a press. 2 different dimensions, 2 different muscle groups, 2 different prime movers. So the prime movers for the pull will be the lats, and the prime movers for the push will be the chest. Now I find a partial lunge, a static lunge because I'm not moving, and I can engage in the same behavior of 1 at a time or 2 at a time. I can change the grip around. Underhand, where the fists face up, is a lot harder for a press versus a pull, and so you might add a rotation, like a boxing exercise, right here. And if I position myself into a lunge, I'm going to want to do the same amount of work on both sides, so to start off, 2 sets is great. That way, you can have the same amount of intensity for both legs and you're not overworking one side. Everything fair and balanced. So after I do my push and I do my pull, I might add in some interesting angles here, like pushing across. That's going to challenge my balance, and it's going to work a little bit more of my waist. So this muscle for the press is called the serratus. Similar to the lat with a different function. It's a different accessory muscle group. Also for the presses, I can do what I consider an incline press or a shoulder press here. Now, I have separate anchors. If I want to do a full-on shoulder press, I can take it to a lower anchor. So I can come down here if I want. That's going to increase the intensity because I'm going to have to use a lot more force to actually push up higher because the anchor point is lower. So even though I'm using the same band right now, this has more intensity because I've positioned the band lower. So this is much harder. Every time I'm going to want to have an athletic position, so a slight bend in the knees. And again with the push up, I can do it 1 at a time. Now, if I want to start to complicate things, I might squat, come up, press, and so I just added bicep curls, which can also be done independently. 1 arm at a time, 2 arms at a time. I can always use the band to help me balance in a squat, squat, curl, press. Now that's the most effective usage of your time. Doing compound movements that allow you to hit multiple muscle groups all in one sequence of movements. That way, you're not wasting time. It's all about efficiency, increasing efficiency. Now, the last exercise that I'm going to demonstrate today is a simple twist. And from the direction that I'm going to film it, it's not going to be the way that I practice it. I like to take up, because I have limitations based on the intensity of this band, most of my porch. So I'll take this one across almost the entire porch, because if I was to do it directly side to side, right here, I wouldn't get much intensity. But I can still demonstrate how this exercise works. I bend my knees stop moving at all. I take the outside hand on first, and I cover it with the inside hand. And from there, I'm just rotating my upper body. My head and neck don't need to turn. As we start this practice of using the bands, let's not overcomplicate things. As we get a little bit more proficient, we might add a pivot, turn, a pivot, turn. But that's going to require your complete participation, complete focus to spin on the ball of your foot so that you're not torquing your knees. When I do a pivot and press, I typically have a one-step plant, and then that leg stays the same. I might angle the toe slightly outward, but it's the back leg that's moving. The back leg that's moving. Now, again, this is really important that when I'm twisting, say to the right, I have this right hand here, and even though the band's on the left side, and you think, well, would I start here? No. I want this hand so that I can push through and work this side, and vice versa. Now, I hope you have a good understanding of some quick ways to start working on your band practice. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the section below or send me an email at barton.furge@teamexos.com. All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. I look forward to making more content for you soon. All right. I need a shave. Take care of yourself.